All right, we should be good.
Here we go. Do we have a link?
We do. We do. Gotta tweet this out real quick.
Make sure Blocky can see it.
Saw a lot of Blocky today.
Today?
Yeah. The Corbridge ad.
Oh, yeah. How about that? Corbridge stock was up today, I guess. Getting inside info. We're friends on
Inside
Wall Street.
info. Somebody sending us a
Not
chart.
inside.
Inside
No,
info.
not inside. Wall Street
So,
specialists.
do you
we're
think
looking
that's
at.
a unsubstantiated rumor?
I think you can readily access Corbridge's stock and see where it's at. Oh, God. Are we ready to go? Should we let it
Yeah.
rip here?
Well, let it
All right.
rip.
He's on right now.
Blocky.
Nice shirt. Couldn't tell you what Corbridge does. Something financial.
I think they do retirement. I think it's the same type
Athene.
of product as Athene.
He's battling with Cantlay on that.
Yeah, it's probably why they told Cantlay to hit the tweet. They probably found out that there was going to be mass Blocky.
They're going up against the big week of Corbridge cornucopia. Yeah. All right, here we go. Greetings and welcome to a Thursday edition of the Shotgun Start. It is May 16th. Andy, how we doing?
Brendan, I'm doing great. I gotta say, I feel like this live stream's gonna work today. I'm getting the green dot says excellent connection. The only thing that could derail this is I'm on kid duty, and if somehow the TV fails to keep her interest here for the next half hour or so.
What TV show do you have on? Are you trying to keep her occupied with?
She's going PJ Masks today. She's been on a big PJ Masks and I don't know, the Power or something gang. Or I don't know. It was funny. I was like, what channel is this on? Or what's streaming service? I'm like, I think it's Netflix, right? And she's like, no, Disney. The Power gang's on on Disney. I click Disney, it pops right up. I'm like, oh, she knows.
They know which ones. Unlike, you can't find the NFL schedule. You see that? It's on like 18 different streaming services now. You're going to have your kids keep track of that. But they know their cartoons.
Can I tell you something I learned today?
What's that?
I thought Louisville was in the Central Time Zone. I got up at 5 West Coast, ready to go for Blocky's first tee shot. And I open up Twitter and they're already going. I
learned this too. I was ready to lock into work at 8 Eastern because I thought they were going at 8:15, 7:15 local. And so I'm doing I could figure I got my hour with my kids before the school. I'm getting them off, packing lunches. Next thing I know, Luke Donald's hitting ball. I'm open Twitter and they've got highlights. Louisville, not in the Central Time Zone. It is apparently east as east can be. You probably get more daylight there because it's on the westernmost part of the Eastern Time Zone, right? You get a little extra minutes, which they may need here tonight. And pace of play.
It's not good.
It's not.
I thought Scheffler would be done when I set the time for this. I thought Scheffler would be long done. I should never be surprised at the pace that man can play golf at.
And he's with Harmon, who's waggling to and fro, getting.
Did you see the scummy drop?
I mean, you can't say the rope's in your way and then drop in the same place just with the better lie, and now the rope's not in your way. Is essentially what happened.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Let's start with a little Thursday night scuttlebutt. Just amusing scuttle. Nobody needs to take this stuff seriously. I hate, we need hardcore analysis of Xander's round. We'll get to that, I guess. But
we're one leg. We're like a turn into the Derby here, to use the phrase. It's anybody's ball game that didn't
use the phrase that may or may not anyone uses.
I think anybody under par, anybody under par is still in it.
Contender pretender Xander Schauffele.
Oh, come on. He's a contender. He's playing awesome. He's playing great golf.
That's never been the issue.
He he got he got he got tossed by arguably the greatest player of the generation who was on an absolute heater last week.
I just asked contender pretender. I'm just
He's a
wondering.
contender without a doubt. He might run away and hide. It's possible.
He might on this sort of half-baked major championship course that Rory McIlroy said is exponentially easier than last week, just coming off of Quail Hollow. So you never like to hear that. What?
Honestly, I'm not a players guy. I think that the record has shown that I'm not a players guy.
Where are we going with this?
I was watching this morning and I couldn't help but think, as people were mentioning it on a group text I'm on, this year the players feels like a bigger tournament than this.
I don't know about that. This is such a subjective, who knows, to each their own kind of debate. The players we didn't watch a lick of. We were in Ireland. We're all locked into this one.
I know. I just think that I don't know. I don't want to go into it too much. But
Scuttlebutt.
There's too many PGA pros here too.
There's too many players in general. Ryan Van Velzen. I'm getting semi-substantiated rumors from people in the game frustrated with the PGA of America and how they build their field. You know how did Mav McNeely get in the field? People are proposing to me in the game, maybe with a gripe for it, that it's a KPMG thing. KPMG, has a relationship with the PGA. Apparently, like the list, like the last 20 so guys, just totally sort of shrouded in subjectivity, no real explanation. Guys who like qualify by objective standards that they have, money from one, point to the next, getting bounced for guys they're ahead of based on just invitations that they want to hand out. A lot of grumbling the last couple of days about the last 20 to 25 invites, but there's too many guys altogether. Ryan Van Velzen or whoever that is, just guys in the pros. Are you trying to get rid of the possibility of a Michael Block redo? Is that what you're trying to cut down on here? You hate Corbett?
My guy Bowser was just rolling in putts all over the place today.
Apparently he's a burly boy.
He was. Did you see him on the telecast?
No, I missed him. Somebody said he looked like Potgieter.
Yeah, he kind of looks like a Bowser, I think people would be worried about he might drop some banana peels behind him on greens.
That's Donkey Kong. Come on, I will not let your Mario Kart ignorance. That banana peels? Bowser has the fireballs.
That's a tool. He could do the green shell backwards. I would be worried.
Mario Kart.
I'd be worried if I was playing anywhere in vicinity of Bowser. He could be throwing red shells up, dropping banana peels behind. He does. He does
got the
look
big
like
shell with the spikes.
He's got curly hair. He's not wearing a hat. It's unbelievable.
I gotta look him up when we're done with this. That's great. That's good. So you just want to cut all the Corbridge team out of there?
I don't want to cut all of them. I think we could just trim it down. I think if we trimmed it down a couple a year, we'd eventually find the right number. The right number is probably pretty small.
A couple a year down to 2. We'll see. All right, little scuttlebutt for just amusements. Got a little bird from the ground inside the Champions Dinner Room on Tuesday night. So we'll talk about the golf here. This is a quick thing. Apparently they're done. They wrap up with Champions Dinner at Churchill Downs. The very fancy, not the infield, whatever that is, the clubhouse. And John Daly just takes out a cigarette and starts smoking inside. And people are like, I don't know that you can do that here. He says, I smoke inside. And just starts using his plate with his scraps as the ashtray. And he's just ashing in his plate with his food scraps at the Champions Dinner on Tuesday. John Daly, who you also wanted to throw out of the field in our tea times portion, have we reached the end of this? Got some other inside intel on Daly. Maybe someone who was involved in that group today Said, well, is he good company? Is he good banter? It said he doesn't chat because he's so far ahead in his cart.
Yeah.
No one talks to him because he's just miles ahead in his cart.
Miles ahead of his caddy, too. Can't put the bag on the cart. Like, talk about a stupid rule.
Yeah. I mean, Ryan Harmon's getting drops from the rope.
What advantage would he already has an advantage that he rides in a cart that,
Yeah.
But what advantage would he have with the caddy?
Maybe his caddy's fresher, maybe.
What is that going to do?
I don't know.
Like the caddy's all of a sudden hitting the shots. I guess if Bones was his caddy, then. If Bones or Paul Tesori was his caddy, then I guess that makes sense why they can't ride. In the cart.
Yeah. Aaron Oberholzer can never say that. Was supported your take on television the other day, saying, I gotta say, everybody loves Bones. Bones is a great caddy. I think JT going to Matt Minister has been a great thing. I think it's been good. Needed it. Not that we overinflated the Bones. All right, let's get into it. We did a little John Daly ashtray scuttlebutt, driving around in his cart. So where do you want to go? Xander Schauffele is our leader. It was just a dartboard. It was great golf. It was great, not golf. Thursday morning coffee golf. I was jazzed about this. It was awesome. They had
it was Thursday morning good walk coffee golf.
Good walk coffee / shotgun / SGS gets you that 20% off your first purchase. If you subscribe, you might be eligible for a year's supply of coffee and $100.
Either fried egg or the shotgun start blend. Either one.
Yeah, so you don't need to be subscribed to just shotgun start. Some people prefer the lighter roast. I got my cough back that trailed me for a couple of years of this podcast. Yeah, good walk coffee.
You need some honey, some local honey. Here's
it was cough. Great. It was great coffee golf. It was just, for whatever reason, the tee times appealed to me. Some people maybe like Scotty. I like Scotty too, but just you had Rory, you had Ludwig, you just had a lot of power in the morning. It was off early, 8 a.m.
Xander.
And then Xander is like clearly pulls away. Brooksy, Spieth, just a guy, was there at the top of the leaderboard for a hot second, kind of leveled out. The one thing that happened that turned it from a 63 to a whatever it was, 69. There's one swing and everything. Like I'm sure he had an explanation.
Otherwise, I think he probably would have shot 61 if it wasn't for that one break.
It was. It was great coffee golf. I was fired up for it. What was your sort of early situation? What was your early reactions? Total dartboard out there.
I mean, I just in general, I think like Zoysia's a really good surface if you could get it dried out. If it's dry, like I think like what people are gonna take away is like Zoysia sucks. Like the new Zoysia strands play like as good as it can play if it's dry. Now, are we ever going to get dry Zoysia in Louisville? Probably not. Is it probably easier to maintain? Yeah. But like, this is a golf course that, I mean, it's very similar to a lot of other golf courses that of its era that it's been obsoleted, right? Like modern technology and modern players have rendered this golf course rather irrelevant. The challenge of the game isn't to hit it far and straight anymore as much as it used to be when the driver head was 190 cc's. It's so much easier to hit the ball far and straight. And it just makes the golf course, I mean, especially if it's soft, it's not going to show well. It's not going to defend itself. This golf course would have a hard time defending itself if it was firm. It is, it's just a golf course of a bygone era. It'd be like going back and playing a baseball game in Ebbets Field, right? Like you'd be like, wait, why is everybody hitting home runs? Well, the fence is 250 feet away.
Yeah, it's not going to be a big challenge. I saw last night Johnson Wagner predicted 20 under. We're already almost halfway there. That's not to suggest it will just keep building. 9 under may come back tomorrow. Maybe the lead tomorrow. Who knows? I found it interesting on the equipment bygone era. Adam Scott plays that like mini burner mini driver because the driver's a little too much. Then the 3-wood drops me down to 270. And like they pinch in all these fairways and bunkers and everything at like 320 or whatever it is. He's like, I just use this mini driver that they've made up that hits at 300. And like it's that perfect in between club between 3-wood and driver for him now that they've fashioned all these courses to pinch or penalize at whatever it may be, 320, 315, and the mini driver. They're just gonna like so why are we using all this much land if we're gonna just like it just makes no sense. Like let's dial it all back, use a little less land, and try to figure out a way that they can actually be penalized.
Well, I mean, I think this is the reality of pro golf. Pro golfers' job is to figure out how to solve the problems that are put in front of it. And Valhalla is a golf course that had a very formulaic problem. It's like long and narrow. That's in thick rough. That's the formula. Guess what? Modern professional golfers have figured that formula out. The formula is that the thing that works is if you build something that's super interesting that you can play a lot of different ways, and it takes a little longer to figure out. That's what Augusta National is. Now, Augusta National is modernized. It's gotten longer, but like the core of the golf course is like you have some leeway. You can play over here. You can play over here. You can lay back. You can push up. Here, it's just, do you push up or do you lay back? That's the only question. And it's on repeat for 18 holes, and that's fine. I thought the crowd, huge crowds, obviously. And hey, it's neat bringing a tournament to different parts of the country. I just think if Valhalla wants to have championships in the future, maybe they need to look at trying to create a new golf course, really. Just start from scratch.
I was going to say, doesn't sound like a minor tweak we're suggesting to get to where you want to be. I thought Justin Thomas had a fun quote. I would say the challenges are just what the course is, the length. And we saw that today. That's what, 66, 65, 62. Just kind of, it's not that tough of a challenge if you're kind of keeping it relatively straight. It was good, fun to watch. It was fun to watch this morning. There's, I find it interesting. JT also said, it's just the weather. Like if this place firms up, the greens. He said he was talking to Austin Kaiser, Xander's caddy, how tough it would be if it got firm and fast. Rory kind of said he didn't say the opposite, but he was like, look, Zoysia is what it is. It's not going to run out. Like, that's just not like the fairways are effectively wider, right? Because it's a stickier grass. Like it's just never going to be like super firm. And so, but he also said, like Quail Hollow, this was like if you're coming from Quail, he's like the guys who came from Quail Hollow.
Guy loves Quail Hollow so much.
Well, yeah. Yeah, he made it sound like, Carnoustie when it was baked out that one year is the ultimate test of like, firm. He did say like guys who came from Quail Hollow was like, wow, this is such a nice little soft and dartboard-ish. He didn't say that like this. I'm paraphrasing him. Just a weak step down, and it's so soft. But the Zoysia, no matter what, firm, fast, dry, is going to be effectively, softish or wider than firm and fast.
I gotta say, I was super impressed with Rory's round today because he did not play well. He didn't play well.
Of course you were. No, I know. He didn't play well.
He actually did what everybody hammers him for not doing for once. He kept stuff going. He had momentum savers, the wedge on 18 and up and down for par from, the fairway. Really kept the momentum going. 2, he had a really hard up and down on 2. He got up and down. That was a round that should have been 1 under. He turned it into 5 under.
It was great. Did he lose strokes off?
He's like 130th off the tee right now.
Yeah, lost just a half a stroke off the tee. That's where he makes a lot of his hay. Was wild, missing left, missing right, missed right on 18. His 9th hole into the water. I think someone asked him, do you feel like you left a lot out there? It's like, no, I didn't leave anything out. This was not one of the rounds where I left it out there. I was kind of scrapping and not searching, but scrapping. I didn't leave anything out there. I'm happy, ecstatic with my 5 under 66. So it was a good fight, an impressive round for a guy who was missing a lot of fairways and gave a couple away on a par 5 or one away maybe on a par 5. Got it back. It was just it was an impressive round. Not the most impressive round of the day. And that was probably Xander Schauffele. 62. He gained 5 shots tee to green, gained 4 on the greens, just hot as hell. Rolling right off Quail Hollow. This is kind of the test you might expect him to play well on. And just gets hot with the putter, and it's good night. Shoots 62. He's now shot 2 of the 4 62s in major championship history. Shot one at LACC on Thursday of last year. So he's an excellent.
How crazy is
excellent
that?
Player.
2 of the 4 lowest rounds in major championship history are Xander Schauffele.
I don't think it's crazy. I mean, he's one of the best players of this current moment where 62s feel more available, and he's done it on Thursday both times. Feels like a Xander special.
Do you think
he's crazy?
Do you think he's hanging around on Sunday?
I mean, he's 9 under. If he's not hanging around, something's going to tear on a soft golf course where it's going to be hard to shoot like 74 if you're like in any kind of form, which he is. I think he's probably hanging around. Don't you?
Yeah, I think he might win.
I think he might win too. He's got some
big ledge I'm going out on.
Yeah.
Top 5 player in the world, shoots 62, up 3, and I think he might win. What I'm doing? I'm a house cat clawing open the door, looking outside.
Well, people were saying the house cat came out of the laundry room. He might have go out on the porch, just feel the breeze for a minute today. But you got 3 more days of potential thunderstorms and whatnot to come through before he leaves the house.
Hey,
yeah, go ahead.
Do you want to talk about our sponsor?
Sure.
The telecast was talking about how it was windy, and it wasn't that windy. It was the hardest wind to play in because you never knew what direction. It was like it's not strong enough to know where it was always blowing, but it was strong enough for there to know there was something going on, but you couldn't always
10.
Yeah, but you couldn't always gauge where it was because of how soft it was. You know what would be useful in that situation?
I bet a Bushnell Golf Pro X3 Plus. I don't always guess your questions right all the time, but I'm guessing you're going to suggest the Bushnell Golf Pro X3 Plus, which
a rangefinder that can tell you exactly what direction and speed that the wind is coming right on the dial. You wouldn't have this problem that the PGA Tour players the best players in the world were confronting today. So
you go to bushnellgolf.com. You get the new Pro X3 Plus. If you had that, you'd be dialed in. Who was your person or thing?
Well, we're going to do this all week long. The segment is dialed in,
okay.
Or they could be not dialed in.
Okay. So, needed a Bushnell Pro X3 Plus.
Yeah, they're either dialed in or not dialed in. And today, I'm going to give you a couple options, and you decide who was least dialed in. All right?
Oh, least dialed in.
Yeah, least dialed in.
Blocky.
Butch Harmon.
Oh, I had this in notes. Maybe my favorite moment of the day. All right, go ahead.
So Butch Harmon, was it an Instagram post?
Yeah. Like, who goes to Instagram, static Instagram post?
You got it there. Just read it off.
I don't have it. I'm scrolling. Here we go. Has ESPN turned into a betting channel? This is the worst golf coverage I've ever seen. It's impossible to watch and listen to. It's a picture of his TV, a direct TV remote, all that.
And so the channel he was on ESPN Bet. Their betting telecast. Their
like their little alternate simulcast deal. That was literally for betting.
He's option 1.
He needed a Bushnell X3 Plus to show him the channel guide. Get him off.
So that was option 1.
Such a
option
good post.
Option 2 for not being dialed in. The spotters and the Marshall on 18 with Rory. There were 3 of them.
Yeah.
And none of them knew where his ball went.
I love him. He's like in this electrical block box that's churning the waterfall, the fake waterfalls over the limestone and all this other stuff. Just puttering around in there. Nobody knows where it crossed. There's all these mechanical apparatus. Yeah, they were not dialed in. Is there another option you got for me?
Yeah, I'm finding. Let's see. I haven't checked on his final results here. Mr. Asterisk, Talor Gooch, shooting even par. Just not. Doesn't seem like he's going to be a factor. Maybe we have an irrelevant T20 coming from Mr. Gooch if he plays well the rest of the week, but not dialed in given his major championship comments.
I mean, you run your mouth. This is like Dylan Brooks for the Memphis Grizzlies about this time last year. You're going to run your mouth. You're going to be a pest. You're going to put yourself in the crosshairs. You got to sack up and show. You got it.
Yeah.
And, I'm not, putting a final judgment on his week yet, but it was, a ho-hum first round. 72 wouldn't have done it.
So who's your least dialed?
Butch Harmon. Butch Harmon's incredible. And I don't want to be ageist here, but the fact he was so mad, he took a picture of his television screen, went to Instagram, put said picture of it on a caption. Is ESPN turned into a betting only show? What is with this? It's unwatchable. Giving my golf analysis. Oh, Grandpa, you're on the anyways. But he's given Rory some good insight. Rory's dialed in. I'm going with Butch as my Bushnell Pro X3 Plus, not dialed in or dialed in of the day. We'll have someone tomorrow who's maybe more dialed in. Where do you want to go next?
Who are you most surprised about on the leaderboard? And by leaderboard, top 10.
Bobby Mack.
Big shot Bob, Ryder Cupper.
I mean, he's got John Daly, 500 yards ahead in his cart. He's got Lee Hodges, who was passing a kidney stone, apparently, was TBD to play. And he hasn't played well this year. I thought he had some insightful stuff last week. I think it was on Bunker. And then today, Gabby Herzig, read her article in The Athletic about how he's just like the Colsaerts thing, struggling to make it in America, or not make it, but on the European tour.
Louisville's a long way from Oban.
Oh, man. Like he said on the PGA Tour, everybody goes out with their psychologist and swing coach and they're this, that, and the other. And whereas on the European Tour, we all go out as players together. And he's been lonely, and it's been an adjustment, as you can imagine. He's been home to Scotland for 3 weeks, apparently, recently. Probably had a few pints and got back in a good headspace. Did well last week, I believe. He said played with Foxy at Myrtle Beach, which got him right. Anytime you play with Foxy, you probably come out way happier and better for it. And now he comes out hot today. I don't say it's a shock, but he's not had a good year, and he's 5 under, and he's playing with John Daly in his cart.
Everybody
for Bob.
Everybody knows the best prep for Valhalla is a week in Myrtle Beach.
I mean, potentially.
What's further from Oban? Myrtle Beach or Valhalla?
Myrtle Beach.
Well, you at least have the water nearby.
I mean, that's one very loose common strain. Water nearby. Myrtle Beach is nothing like Oban, Scotland. That has to be a real sort of assault on your senses and culture.
I think Myrtle Beach might be closer. Oban's right on the water. Myrtle Beach is on the water. At least you could theoretically wave home. You could go. You're on the same water. You don't have to switch waterways.
Sound like me talking to my kids when they go in the ocean. Like, you can see Ireland over there. That's where Grandpa came from. These sound like it. Just stop. You
could
Who
get in a boat
on the leaderboard.
I guess you know what, Tom Kim. This wouldn't be a spot that you'd expect him to play well. He's not long. But I think if you hit enough fairways out here, you can hang around. It's just going to be a question of can he hit, the requisite fairways to get out there, all the whole time. He hit 13 of 14 fairways today. Can you hit?
Yep.
Can you hit 12 plus for 4 straight days? And if he can, then he could be here.
Yep. Yep. Do you think where are you at with the winning score here? Brooks's entire press conference was about patience, talking to Ricky. He's like, you got to be patient. Is this a Corn Ferry Tour type mentality where you gotta like, oh my
I
god,
think
I'm
I
going
think
backwards?
17, 16, 15 to 17 right now it feels. You know,
Yeah.
like 4 under a day feels
Yep.
like you could win. That could win it, right?
Yep.
I don't think it's
Yep.
getting firmer, right? It's supposed to rain tomorrow.
Yep. Do you think Tiger makes the cut? We will have talked when that's fine. He's T85 1 over right now. Was pretty wild. I'd say he was
I
lucky to be
don't
1
think
over.
so.
I don't think he does either.
I don't think
Adams-
Phil's making either.
You see, there was a fan that said, "Let's go, Peppy Peter," as he was
Yeah.
walking off the green. He's
Did see-
T85 as well.
Was that a female fan?
Yeah, we have some. There's some who listen to this stupid podcast. Someone said this is a product of the some bourbon activation. So apparently, it was liquored up. Walked up to the rope line and said, "Hey, Peppy Peter, let's go." But it was a very positive sort of boost to Peppy. HALLA hats are sold
game
out.
within the
HALLA
game.
hats are sold out. Least surprising development of the day. Not Tom Kim. HALLA hats being apparently sold out, according to
It's
sources
not
on the ground.
surprising at all.
I know. Least surprising.
I got it. Do you want a good unsubstantiated rumor?
Yeah.
This is actually incredible.
John Daly ashing
This is
into
completely
a
I'm gonna leave this. I'm gonna keep the club out of it. It is a very, very prestigious club in the northern suburbs of Chicago.
Well, that limits the universe. I know there's several, but okay.
Apparently, the pro bought a bunch of big G4 hats, like the big text. I don't know what it said. I want to keep it anonymity here.
So you can't use the shorthand of whatever was on it.
Cannot use the shorthand.
HALLA, for instance. Okay.
Apparently, a member came in, saw them, said, "I will purchase all of these, and I never want to see one of these hats in this pro shop again."
I'm with you.
The one member came in, purchased every single, all the stock.
We need to save our country from this scourge. I love that. You have a game
You know
within
what?
the game you wanted to throw
You know
out
what
there?
we did? We had some inventory we had to get rid of.
At the Fried Egg Pro Shop?
Yeah, just some bad merch purchase.
Scott Pelley t-shirts or something?
Yeah, similar vein. Those we sold at hefty discount, like dollar tees. But we wanted to get rid of these things, and we were like, we can't just have can't donate them in the country and have somebody run around, like have a bunch of them go to some city, have like all these people.
What were they? Can you just tell the people what they were?
Like no, I'm not gonna tell. I'm not gonna tell them because they might like the shirt.
There's some, underprivileged individual walking around.
We shipped him to a different country. I wonder what the guy did with all the big text hats.
Oh, that's good. You had a game within the game you wanted to throw out, and then we can wrap this up. Are you
I was going to say Toasty versus Homa. Two of the internet's biggest sensations.
How about the broadcast? They were trying to tell a Toasty tale.
My daughter's yelling at me. I don't know what it was.
Bluey. PJ Mass. They're both T18. I'm going with Max Homa. He looks playing rather well. Has played rather well at major this year. Test of skill, as he said. Alejandro Toasty, as we know, could all come undone real quick with one misadventure into the creek or the high rough.
Last question. I'll take Toasty. I'm taking Toasty.
Yeah, you
Last
are.
question. Does Hoagie finish in the top 10?
We've got some research that there's a Caesars within an hour.
It's got to be a lot of river boats, right? Louisville's right on the river.
Oh, are we going to go there? Do we know that for sure? Are we over?
Yeah, it's on a river.
But it's not
you drive over the river. It's the Ohio. You drive over the river into Indiana, right?
That may be right.
Come on.
Is it a riverboat situation?
I've driven through Louisville and maybe.
I don't know that it's a riverboat situation. So yeah, I don't think he's going to stay in the top 10. I think he's going to go to Caesars. I don't think he's kind of had an up and down year. Yeah, that's my expert analysis. We're saving some expertise bullets for later. Thursday is not where you get too deep in the weeds. Anything else? PGA presser? Not really anything. They don't know what to do with the Ryder Cup captaincy. Tiger's jamming them. Didn't have a lot to say about rollback. Lucas Glover comments. They said Jimmy Dunn get it. They were pissed that he did on Monday of their major, but it's a loss. Lucas Glover then rips into the pros who would be financiers on his radio show.
Joe Ogilvy tweeting cryptic messages.
Yeah, that's the last. We need that box checked. The circus of the last 10 weeks or 10 days in the board is a subtweet from somebody. So.
All right, my daughter just yelled again.
All right,
we're gonna
everyone enjoy your Thursdays. We'll be back Friday after the second round, and a cut is maybe not. We'll see. Storm's coming tomorrow. Thank you for listening. Talk to you then.